Los Angeles, California is having another wave of street takeovers where the LAPD seems unable to get it quickly under control. Karen Bass is, oh my God. Thank God I got out of there, man. Holy crap.
Los Angeles has officially
another Decoy Voice videos. I love this guy's videos. I love how like to the point and fast they are. Like I love it.
Become third world living at first world prices. As early Saturday morning, a group of 50 vandals were allowed to take over the streets, not only attacking the trains, but the responding police officers as well.
What was captured on video over the weekend, people targeting stores, metro trains.
You know what we need, guys? I think we need some more rooftop Koreans. We need a rooftop Korean squad. That's what we need.
And police cars with graffiti and vandalism is just the latest act of chaos that's been going on for months. He says about 15 to 20 underground parties happen every weekend with police and businesses struggling to keep track.
Now,
how did they let this happen? How is this possible? Oh my.
One party promoter, not any person granting access.
Round up all of these people and make them pick up trash and clean graffiti. Do it. Honestly, yeah. Forced labor. Yeah, 100%.
Space to be used has been held accountable.
LAPD officers were lined up in riot gear, fired rubber bullets after multiple warnings to
call it slavery if you want. Don't care.
Clear this area. No one was hurt, but several businesses and metro trains were damaged. There were no...
I don't define that as slavery, but if you want to call it that, then fine, go ahead.
Arrests.
No, make them clean this shit up. They did this. They fucked up all this shit. They should clean it.
Businesses and metro trains were damaged. There were no arrests.
We cannot do this. We cannot do this in our city. And it has to be stopped. We have to be very...
I'm the mayor, but somebody needs to do something about this. You guys know that you're paying for this. You're paying for this woman. You know that, right? You're paying her for this.
Very aggressive about it.
The government is the fucking worst. The worst.
Because we will never send the signal that maybe this is acceptable behavior.
This is coming from the mayor that just sent the signal. You can destroy entire sections of the city and nobody will be arrested. As previously they allowed LA to be destroyed over social justice in other parts of America, and then perceived social injustice in other countries oceans away. But now these idiots don't even need a reason, they're just allowed to take over the city whenever they can get enough of them together. Because we saw plenty of riot officers lined up to detain at least a handful of them, but apparently the mayor never gave the green light to actually...
We need some military grade Asmongold. That's what we need. Military grade.
Do it, as the optics of aggressive arrests over what she perceives as property crimes isn't within her liberal policies. As other parts of the state have proven, they can quickly shut down these takeovers by rounding up, arresting anybody, and impounding any car involved. It seems pretty harsh to lose your car, but the alternative is to lose civil society whenever the lawless horde gets bored, as police weakness is becoming a known issue with this city.
Just came home from my son's baseball game tonight to this. We had a break-in in our house. It's not cool, and I'll tell you what else. I was on hold with 911 for 59 minutes. Luckily, the police, when they did show up, came. They were very nice, but they mentioned how undermanned they are, and that's a problem.
And this isn't just a one-off incident. I lived there for over a decade, and in my last years there...
Me too, man.
I remember seeing a transient knocked out with a syringe in his arm, laying in the street outside my business. I called 911, who connects me to fire, who says they can't respond without the police. But then the police say they need me to personally detain this unconscious person for the police to respond. And when I told them I wasn't willing to do that, PD hung up, fire hung up, and 911 did nothing. And not just...
We're paying for this, guys. We're literally paying for this. Do you see why I hate taxes? I hate them because, like, just let me take care of it then.
LAPD, but even the CHP, when an old Asian man falling asleep on the freeway hit my car and didn't even notice. I called 911.
Wait, did he? Hold on. Did he use AI to make these? Wait, I can't tell. I actually can't. With this art style, it's kind of hard to tell. I don't know if he did.
Again, and they just told me don't follow him even though he's a risk to everybody else, but just go to the nearest CHP station to file a report. And if you've been watching this channel for long enough, I've told countless stories of LA coppers that at best could care less, and at worst actually seem fearful of the criminals. But as long as crime stats can appear to decline, they don't care what actually happens to the citizens. As Los Angeles is broke, but the mayor is continuing to cut back on public safety, possibly laying off LAPD civilian employees. As we just saw the effects of this with the wildfires that destroyed the city, where people were wondering why there were so many fire trucks unavailable to fight the fires, but they just cut all the employees.
If she had any self-decency, she had any sort of self-respect, she would immediately, she would do the Japanese thing and basically just not take a salary.
That repair those fire trucks, amongst several other failures for fire safety.
No, not commit SIP, guys. Guys, I wasn't gonna go that far.
So freezing police hires and laying off non-sworn personnel doesn't mean the police have less to do. It just means taking action.
Okay, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I can see why you thought that. I see. I see why you thought that. Okay. Fair enough, guys. Fair enough. But that's not what I was talking about.
Police off the street to complete tasks that should be much cheaper to do. But as long as Mayor Bass can continue her anti-police policies, she could care less on what happens to the actual citizens that will suffer. As back to the wildfires, where Governor Newsom seemed to dance when talking about the damage, with the mayor straight up lying about how fast the residents will be able to rebuild. 4 months later, she's now bragging about a single house, barely starting construction, surrounded by at least 10 empty lots of rubble. As it really seems they're going to use the fires as a land grab.
Every dwelling in Malibu has a separate septic system. And these houses in front, many of them were built in the 40s, in the 50s, in the 60s, and the codes were almost non-existent. And they're going to have to update the septic system, which means Coastal Commission, Ocean, Sierra Club, dig it all out. And because of the proximity of the ocean, they're going to have to build seawalls. So they're going to be several $1 million into stuff that's buried in the ground. Do you know how much bureaucracy, red tape, and permits worth of nightmare this is going to be?
It has Adam Carolla. I love Adam Carolla stuff, by the way. Highly recommend. Like, dude, you know Adam Carolla predicted all of this? Like, he's like a modern day Nostradamus. Did you guys know that? Guys, this was 14 years ago.
Jimmy Kimmel kicking around potential titles for other complaints from an angry middle-aged white.
That's the name of his book. And this was 14 years ago. He's a little fast on that prediction. It was a lot faster than that. A little bit less than 50 years, but
guy joining us now.
I read this book. This book's actually really good.
Oh, the man himself.
I highly recommend it, by the way. I love this book.
It's going to take 50 years?
No, actually. But I wrote the book 20 years ago. So
okay.
And the good part, Adam, is you're fresh as a daisy. You got your 12 hours of sleep last night.
Yeah, you look great.
I know.
Yeah, he's the man show guy that was on there with Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah.
I took a train in from Philadelphia at 5 a.m. this morning.
After 2 shows and a book signing
last night.
Why'd you do that? That hurts.
I remember this show because it was before South Park. So like it was like my South Park waiting room.
Money.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, I love it.
If you nod off,
honest.
we'll try not to be offended when
it had girls jumping on trampolines.
Pass out during the interview. So how are we going to turn into chicks?
Well, the book title, well, first off, it's a book. It's got a bunch of funny jokes in it and essays and stories and stuff like that. You have to give something a title. I know this isn't show business, but you can't just go, hey, it's a bunch of funny crap Adam thinks about.
They used to say like I don't remember. It was like Ziggy Zuggy or something. They're like, Ziggy Zuggy, Ziggy Zuggy. Oi, oi, oi. They used to say that. They like drink beer. Yeah, I remember that.
When he's driving.
I really liked South Park. I highly recommend the audiobook. It's better. It's actually better than the physical like paper like Dead Tree book. The reason why is because the audiobook is actually narrated by Adam Carolla, and he goes off script a lot. Like, it's funny because like the actual audiobook is not even a direct reading of the book. Like he'll read it, but he'll tangent sometimes. So it's actually great. It's amazing. Anyway, I'm a huge Adam Carolla fan. Like, actually, like I love his work. He also has another book called I'm Your Emotional Support Animal. I also recommend that one. And basically his books are just memeing about like how ridiculous society has gotten. It's just basically commentary, but like comedy commentary, like him just like being like, this is so stupid, like it's fucking hilarious, and just him laughing at like all of this stupid stuff.
You have the last house standing on Malibu Beach. It was singed by the fires. It was not leveled. Very fortunate for you, obviously. But you're hearing rumblings now that those beaches in Malibu, including your house potentially, may be taken by the government under eminent domain.
Property owners that are trying to get covered, that nobody can understand. Why is nothing being done? Why is the beach not being picked up? Why haven't the bore samplings and environmental stuff been done? Why are only 4 permits been approved in 4 months? And those 4 permits, by the way, Steve, were done before the fires. The talk is now that the state of California is planning to seize the coastline in Malibu.
Between the fires, land grabs, and rampant crime, it almost seems like a coordinated effort to push regular citizens off this prime real estate in LA. And the only thing worse than being forced out of your own community is the fact that they're using your tax dollars to do it. Why doom scroll on social media all day when you have my concise, lighthearted commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality? So subscribe to Decoy Voice.
Remember Hawaii? Nobody in the government does.
I'm not a big fan of the government. 30 on 30.